Now these are interesting. They don't play like item cards. Usually when you play an item card, you discard it. You throw it in your discard pile just like you discard a card in Uno. These actually attach onto the Pokemon, which means you can only have a Pokemon that has one Poke Tool, like one USB port for one device. Handheld Fan. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent, move an energy from the attacking Pokemon to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So this is nice because every time they put down an energy to attack and they attack you, that energy goes to a different Pokemon, so they have to put down a new energy to attack. So this is good because you only have so many energy in your deck and eventually that's going to run through. Lily asks, I bought my first battle box. Should I use the cards from it? Build in battle box, you mean? Yes. That product is there to help you build a deck fast. And it will give you lots of cards that you can customize a pre-built deck you might already have with. So if you're looking to just get a bunch of cards, I recommend booster boxes or ETBs. Cost effective. If you're looking to actually get into playing the game, I will swear by build in battle boxes all day. For like between 15 and 20 bucks, you get 4 packs and 40 cards. It is the fastest way to get a working deck together. Let's see. Technical Machine Turbo Energize. It lets me search my deck. Clara, thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. Long overdue, but glad to have you following. All right. This attaches to my Pokemon and gives me an extra attack. It lets me search my deck for up to 2 basic energy cards and attach them to my bench Pokemon in any way that I like. Then I shuffle my deck. I'm going to put this in here. I like that. Lucky Helmet. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, draw 2 cards. So this just helps me find the cards I need much faster, but D is absolutely going to start getting restless if I don't look through and find an electric generator. D, is it a tool or is it an item? Okay, so we are now at Future and Ancient Capsules. I do want to talk for a second about that. So there are these new Pokemon tools. There's 2 variants. There's Ancient Booster Capsule and Future Booster Capsule. And this is something that's new and specific to the Scarlet and Violet era. Because you have Pokemon that are called Paradox Pokemon. And the Paradox Pokemon are Screamtail, and it says Ancient right there. That's how I know it's an Ancient Pokemon. So in Pokemon Scarlet, you get all the Ancient, the past Pokemon, like the Primordial Pokemon. In Violet, you get the Future Pokemon. So I want to do a quick deck check and see how many Ancients and how many Futures I have in this deck. I've got 1, 2 Ancients. Okay, so let me just put those down. 1 Future. 2 Futures, 3 Futures, 4 Futures. So I'm going to want some Future Capsules in there, and I'll show you what they do now. So Future Booster Energy Capsule. The Future Pokemon this card is attached to has no retreat cost, which is great if I'm getting pummeled and I don't want to give up the prize cards for having my Pokemon knocked out. I can just retreat for free, just because. Okay? Normally to retreat, you need to discard energy. I hate throwing my energy away. I work really hard to pull it every turn. So if I can do this, I'm going to do this. You downloaded TikTok just for my content? Claire, I'm fly. You rock. You rock. And you'd be super proud of the graphic. I'll show it to you next time when I'm in person. I'm making flowcharts for everything. Super organized. And my attacks also do 20 more damage to my opponent's Pokemon. So that's a no-brainer. I want Future Booster Capsules in there. And Ancient does the same thing. Oh no, Ancient doesn't. Ancient Pokemon get 60 extra health and recover from all special conditions like poison, sleep, paralysis, and confusion, and can't be affected by any of those. So that's good. I think I only need 1 of these in there for the Jigglypuff. And now I'm going to look through and see if I have a Future Capsule. Rob, thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate that. Thank you. If you guys are enjoying our content, again, you can drop some hearts in chat. It lets the algorithm know that we actually know what we're talking about, we produce good content, and we care about our community, which is our bread and butter. So if you're having fun with us, we do this every Sunday. We'll build a deck together, and then Tuesdays we'll play video games, and then Fridays, Stephanie, my wife, and I will actually open packs on stream, and we just kick it, listen to chill music, and see who can pull the better hand. And usually there's a friendly wager in there or two. So let's get this deck wrapped. Future Booster. Looking for an electric generator really quick because I know D wants that in there. Vengeful Punch. Evolution. Cursed Duster. Let's see. So I don't have an electric generator. It looks like in here. That's my H cards. Let me go to my G cards. G cards. Handheld fan. Let's see. Now we talked about discarding energy earlier. I do want an energy retrieval, so I'm going to pull that now. Superior energy retrieval. You can only use this card if I discard 2 other cards from my hand, which isn't bad sometimes. I can put up to 4 basic energy cards from my discard pile into my hand instead of putting it right in my deck. He's chatting to you on YouTube now. I'm on TikTok. No, it's not confusing. Do you know why? Do you know why, Claire? Because I'm actually streaming to all those platforms simultaneously and my chat is aggregated. So when someone writes me, I can see who's writing from what platform. Isn't that cool? So, energy retrieval. I want a Pokeball in there, but I prefer a better Pokeball. Rare candy. Choose one of your basic Pokemon and play. If you have a stage 2 card, you can put it there. On the card evolve, it's skipping stage 1. So I can't do that. Energy switch. I don't want to do that. Counter catcher. Nope. Techno radar. You can use this card only if you discard another card from your hand. Search your deck for up to 2 future Pokemon. 2 future Pokemon. Put them in your hand and then shuffle your deck. Yes, please. I'll take 2 of those. And then I think we're going to call it right there. So hang on. Let's get this back in here. Now, this deck is incomplete. It is incomplete because, as D pointed out, I'm running an electric deck with no electric generator, and I do want that in there. So this deck is going to continue to evolve. I'm just going to do a quick card count and see where I'm at. So I've got a lot more cards in here than I need. I'm going to have to make some cuts, but I'll teach you how to do that too. Okay? So let me put this off to the side for now. I've got 4 stadiums. None of them are super duper helpful for me. I've got a beach court, community center, jamming tower, and festival grounds. So let's do a count. Future and future boost, future booster energy capsule, 2 of those. Ancient booster energy capsule, 1. Techno radar, 2. Superior energy retrieval, 1. Technical machine turbo energize, handheld fan. I don't really need that. Nope. Buddy Buddy Poffin, I want all day. And boxed order, 3. So let's do a hand count. 3. Let's try to do a count. Okay, 2 boxed orders. 4 Buddy Buddy Poffins, that's 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, plus 4, 17. I'm over, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to figure out what do I not really need. So here, there's a good way to tell. Look at these 2 cards. I'm just going to read them to you and explain it in case you can't really see it. So I've got boxed order over here. It lets me search my deck for up to 2 item cards, reveal them, and put them in my hand. This lets me search for up to 2 basic energy cards and attach them to my bench Pokemon. I'm going to have to prioritize. I'm going to take 1 boxed order. Okay. Actually, no, I'm going to get rid of Technical Machine. It's nice to search for the basic energy, but I might not need it. Okay. I'm going to put that on here. So let's see. Our count is now 4, 6, 7, 9, 10, 14, 16. I'm still a little bit over. I'm going to take out 2 Buddy Buddy Poffins. Those are H, these are G, those are H, and these are H. Sorry, these go on this pile. Just try to stay organized. I have like 10,000 cards, so I got to keep everything pretty organized to build decks. Claire, thanks for the gift. Thanks for the heart. So appreciated. The rose, rather. Really, really, really appreciate that. Thank you for supporting our content. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, plus 4. I'm going to take out 2 of these. So we have 12 cards in here. So here's our final picks. I'm going to use, let's see, take that out. Great. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. Here's our 12 item cards and tools. We're running 2 future booster energy capsules, a beach court to make my retreat cost lower, and my community center. Techno radar. These are marked future. They specifically affect cards marked with the future stamp. So I want that in here to help get my future Pokemon out lickety-split as fast as possible. I'm going to do that. I want 1 ancient energy booster so that my Screamtail is a little chonkier, a little tankier, and doesn't get absolutely fried and face melted. I've got my energy retrieval, 2 boxed orders to help me find 2 item cards I need, and 2 Buddy Buddy Poffins. So in theory, I could play this, the boxed order, pull 2 item cards. The item cards I pull are my Buddy Poffins. That lets me take 2 basic Pokemon and put them on my bench. And then from 1 card, I've just pulled the exact card I need, and I've got 4 Pokemon on my bench in 1 turn. Great for loading the bench and then starting to build those evolution chains. So with these 12 cards, the last step of building our deck is going to be finding the 8 supporter cards we need to complete the deck. So let's get these cards cleaned up. And again, if you missed the beginning of this, it is going to be on YouTube pretty much immediately after this. And you're more than welcome to follow us there as well, especially if you did miss the beginning of the content. So let's see, my Pokemon tools go back in G. My stadiums for H go back in H. And now let's talk supporters. Supporters are very powerful cards. They're so powerful that you can only play 1 per turn, and you can't play 1 at the beginning of the game. That's how strong they actually are. And they do a lot of different things. Supporter cards will let you find Pokemon you need, swap your opponent's Pokemon, find the cards you need, slow your opponent down, and that's really, 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 really huge. So, Perrin. Perrin says, reveal up to 2 Pokemon in your hand and put them into your deck. If you do, search your deck for up to that many Pokemon, reveal them, and put them into your hand. So if I have a Pokemon that I'm not looking for right now, let's say, that I have my Screamtail, but really what I want is Miraidon. I play my Perrin, I put 2 Pokemon back in my deck, and I pull out exactly the ones that I want, provided they're not in my prize cards. So that's super cool. So I'm going to put a Perrin down. Lucian. Each player shuffles their hand and puts it on the bottom of their deck. If either player put any cards on the bottom of their deck this way, each player flips a coin. If heads, they get 6 cards. If tails, they get 3. I'm never one to throw my hand away and give my opponent the same advantage as me. I like an unlevel playing field. That's how you win matches. So I probably won't run with a Lucian. Cook. Heals 70 damage from your active Pokemon. That's nice, okay? Especially when you're running a big Pokemon like Miraidon, because on the bottom it has a rule box, and it says if this Pokemon's knocked out, your opponent takes 2 cards. When you play a Pokemon TCG match, it's basically the first person to knock out 6 Pokemon, or the equivalent of 6 Pokemon, and take 6 prize cards. So basic Pokemon like this Iron Jugulus, you knock it out, it's worth 1 point, 1 prize card. But EXs are worth 2. So losing an EX on the battlefield is a really big deal because your opponent is 1/3 of the way closer to winning their match. And so having a Cook to heal 70 damage helps me stall out the game. I like that. So I'm going to put that with my Perrin. Rhyford. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck and discard any number of them. Put the others back in any order. No. Lana's Aid. Put up to 3 in any combination of Pokemon that don't have a rule box. So this is confusing for people when they first learn this. It talks about having a rule box, and you're like, well, what cards have a rule box? Basically, anything that says down here, EX rule, V rule. So in short, it's any card that's a VMAX, a VMAX. Any super strong Pokemon that has fancy letters after it will have a rule box. There's some other exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, that's what they mean. So put up to 3 Pokemon that don't have a rule box and basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. That may be helpful, but it's probably not the best. So let's put that as a maybe. Kieran, I love cards that say choose one. This is a great tip for someone learning to build a deck. Normally, every card has a definite function. There are some cards, however, like this Kieran, I'll just get you in focus and let you take a look there. This Kieran actually has 2 effects. So, oh, come on, don't do this to me, Cam. This really needs to be my face cam, and the other cam needs to be my card cam. But I'll read it to you. It says choose one. It says either switch your active Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon, so you get to basically make a save, or during this turn, attacks used by your Pokemon do 30 more damage to your opponent's active EX and active V Pokemon. So depending on where I am situationally, this card is actually super duper helpful to me. If I need to retreat, I can retreat. There we go. If I need to do more damage, I can do more damage. Maybe it's that last push. The Pokemon is weak. I can knock it out. Really easy to do. So I am all for this card being in this deck. It's a great play. Carmine. I'm not a big fan of Carmine. It's a pretty card to look at, but it's a card that says if you go first, you can use this card during your first turn, discard your hand, draw 5 cards. It's basically meant to make sure that you don't have useless cards that you can't play at the outset of the game. Not super helpful for where we are because in the beginning of the game, you don't know where it's going to go. Very unlikely you need to discard your entire hand at the outside of the game, but it does happen sometimes, in all fairness. So, so far we have Perrin, Cook, and Kieran. We are looking for 8 cards here. Lucian, I'm going to put another Cook in there. I'm going to put another Perrin in there. So now we are, let me just spread this over. We have 2 Perrins. 2 Perrins right here. 2 Cooks. We have a maybe for Alana's Aid. We have a Kieran. Hassle. You can use this card only if your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn. I get to look at the top 8 cards of my deck and put up to 3 of them in my hand. So that's super helpful. I'm going to put that in there. Basically, if you're looking for a card and you need to find it really quick, you can look at the top 8 cards, pull the top 3 that you want. That's awesome. Let me see, just for the sake of completion, if there is another Kieran in here. Let's see. Kieran. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to look through these really quick and just make sure, but really I think I'm going to be running with another Hassle, and then this deck is going to be considered done. Morty's Conviction. You can use this card only if you discard another card from your hand. Okay, so I have to pay something to use it, and I draw a card for each of my opponent's benched Pokemon. That's nice if the opponent has a lot of Pokemon on the bench and I'm really hurting for Pokemon to play. And I need options, lickety-split. Hassle, put that there. Carmine, Cook, Lucian, Lana's Aid, Caretaker. Draw 2 cards if you drew any cards this way, and if Community Center is in play, do I have a Community Center? Shuffle this Caretaker into your deck instead of discarding it. Now, we talked about Synergy, okay? Synergy is a beautiful thing. Do I have a Community Center? I do. So if I have this Community Center out, and I play this Caretaker, I get to draw 2 cards, but instead of throwing this card away at the end of my turn, it goes right back into my deck and I can find it again. So that's great, especially if my opponent doesn't play another Stadium, okay? Lily, awesome. I just saw your message. I'm going to take a look now. So give me 1 second. I'm going to put that down and probably take out 1 Cook. Put that here. So we're going to do a final count now, and then we should be good to go. And then this deck is done. So Lana's Aid goes right here. And again, this is a super beginner-oriented deck. This is not a finished product, but this is a workable product. This is something that I can go to my first Pokemon tournament in real life and actually start playing and get enough meaningful data to make decisions about what I want to trade. This is the beginning of a strong deck. And as I get more powerful cards, I'm going to take out some of the weaker cards and put the more powerful cards in, but then I have something workable. So let's just do our final count. And while we do our final count, again, just want to thank you guys for hanging with me on a Sunday night, building some cards with us. We do deck building every single Sunday. We are putting content out for not just serious Pokemon collectors, but people that want to learn more about the hobby. Maybe you're a parent and your kid collects and you want to support your kids and spend time with them. I play cards with my daughter all the time. It's great for teaching them reading, basic math, social skills, etiquette, taking turns, sharing, cooperation. So, Claire, thank you for that. Oh my gosh, thank you, Claire. Thank you. Thanks for the gift. We really appreciate that. But we are about our community. Pokemon always has a really, really wonderful community.